Old Mick, Old Man MGTOW had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And on that farm he had a chicken with no eggs, E-I-E-I-O. And a bark there, and a nag there. Hear a pipe, hear a moan, hear a freaking pipe moan. It seems to me that they flattened the wrong curve there, their partner. It done flattened the wrong curve. This pandemic is backfiring because they done flattened the wrong curve. Hammerhand already did a video on this, and I believe I did a video on something like that, something to this called I guess. So how's that baby? How's that Roni baby boom doing? That Roni baby boom. Gotta be careful with that Roni. You gotta make sure you flatten the right daggone curve. See, when you leave somebody in the same area, day in, day out, for a lengthy, let me break this to you. Gone are the days where men and women picked each other for saying, hey, I could spend a long period of time with this person. But no. Nobody thinks like that. Nobody thinks like that anymore. It's like, I want to screw him here and now. He's always at work. Let me break this to you. When the cat's away, the mice will play. When the dog's away, the cat will lay. When the cat's away, the mice will play. Let me say this here. When a man's away, the dog will stand. When the dog's away, the cat will lay. When a cat's away, the mice will play. And when the mice are away, that means there's no food for the mice to have. It's a food chain. It's a food chain type deal. It's a type of food chain type deal, you know? It's a social hierarchy. Now, right now, we are finally getting to the point where the mice are beginning to leave. The man has left. The dog has stood. The man represents the working class. The dog represents the government. The dog removed the man from the home. And now it's beginning to be the man, the dog is beginning to stand. And the dog is beginning to leave. So the cat, representing these ladies, is about to leave as well to try to find the dog. And now that the cat's away, the mice are away. The mice represent the mice are playing. The mice represent the freaking panic of basically running out of eggs. And the mice are almost gone. Them eggs are almost gone. The food's almost depleted. And the mice are getting ready to leave. A barren house. Every month for 2 weeks, the cat gets a mouse. Now that these mice are gone, there's no reason for the cat to stay or to come back. The mice are out of food. They left. Now let me break this to you here, simple. Let me break this to you simple here. You flattened the wrong damn cone curve. How does that feel to know that your pandemic is backfiring on you? How does it feel to know that this pandemic has now made America look just like Japan with the herbivore philosophy? How does it feel? How does it feel, any person in the government that is listening, to know that everything has backfired on you? Nobody's getting married, nobody's having children, nobody wants to even sleep, let alone be around a woman. All your media defamation has failed. CNN has failed. Fox News has failed. BBC has failed. NBC, ABC, MSNBC has failed. The View has failed. You can't shame somebody with no shame, who has basically given up their shame. The laws that came down the pipe, they're probably, if they are logical, they are probably not going to pass that bill in New York. If they are logical and they see the curve flattening due to this baby bust. In Utah, they are probably going to rethink some things now that they see the wrong curve flattening. California, in places where women pretty much have carte freaking blanche, they're probably going to rethink a lot of things due to the wrong curve flattening. Let me break this to you. Big Billy Clinton didn't bring this. Bush didn't bring this. Obama didn't bring this. Trump didn't bring this. Biden didn't bring this. Hell, Nixon didn't even bring this. It was all you ladies, all you. It was your divine wisdom and judgment that brought this upon to fruition. Where you say, continuously stated that you don't need no man. Where you've continuously stated you don't need no man, you're strong and independent. So now that we're leaving you to be strong and independent, leaving you flat on your tail end. This world, you're finding out this world is either sink or swim. We left you to this world, and we shall leave you, and we shall continue. We left you to this world, and we shall continue. Enjoy Japan. Enjoy the American version of Japan. In about 10 years, the previous older generation will begin to drop dead. Will have begun to dwindle. The Vietnam era will be at the numbers of the World War II vets in the 90s, in the early 2000s, in the early to mid 2000s. We will have lost another decade of veterans. We'll have lost another era of veterans. Vietnam and Korea. We will have lost another treasure trove of knowledge. And those people, and the people that are going to replace it, are the Desert Storm and Desert Shield veterans. The Iraqi The Iraqi and freedom, the war in Afghanistan and the war in Iraq veterans. They're going to replace the older population. They're going to begin to start trickling in on the older population, starting with the people that have been in the war day freaking won. In another 10 years, the curve will have begun to reach its peak flattening, because women have decided to take it upon themselves to be barren and childless and wait till later on in life to have children, where it's detrimental to not only her health but the child's health. In another 10 years, you'll have another group of adults to replace these ones, to replace a population that will greatly dwarf them. That will greatly dwarf them in numbers. And in 20 years, I'll be an old man. I will be an old man with 0 fornicates given. I will be an old man. In about 20 years, I'll be an old man. I'll be considered old. Now, will I have children of my own? I do not know that. I do not know that. But I will have escaped. I will have done my duty to an escape with my children's sanctity. That's if I have children later on. You have done this to yourselves, ladies. The baby bust has begun. It's only beginning. So go ahead and double down on the whole flattening the curve. Go ahead, flatten that curve. Flatten that curve there. You flatten the wrong curve. And go ahead with your BS patriotic duty. Let me break this to you. You're not going to shame us. Shaming us, the government is going to shame you. Next is the next step. They're going to shame you into donating sperm. They're going to shame you into having children, getting married, settling down. They're going to shame you. They're going to provide incentive for women to settle down and none for the men. That is how Japan did it. That is how America's going to do it. That is how UK is going to do it. In any Western country, they're going to shame you as a man to donate sperm, to have children, to settle down and have children. They're going to give incentive to the women only. They're not going to give incentive to you. There's no incentive for you. They're going to bring back classes of how to be a freaking housewife in some countries, but they're also going to bring back how to be a real man in a lot of other countries. I'm looking at US of being how to be a real man and no classes on how to be a freaking woman. They're going to tell you to man up. That's what's going to happen. They're going to tell you to man up. So go ahead, flatten that curve. Flatten that curve. Go right ahead. You're doing such a wonderful job flattening that curve. Oh, wait a minute. The other curve is still rising? In fact, we've probably turned into a full-on vertical ramp. That the only thing keeping the car moving is the downforce. And the fact that the fuel bowl thing is fuel injected. And on top of that, the freaking hose, the fuel hoses, hoses in the back of the freaking engine, in the back of the freaking tank. So you'll go ahead and flatten down that curve. Bring that curve on down. Come on, bring it on down. Old man MGTOW had a farm. E-I-E-I-O. Enjoy that. Enjoy the curve. Enjoy flattening the curve. And younger people, you're going to be taking care of us old folk when we get older. Isn't that great? Isn't that great? Isn't that great to know that? You better start having kids now. When you listen, ladies, what you should have done, you should have learned how to cook. You should have learned how to be a traditional housewife. I have no problem with tradition, and I also have no problem with this new age culture this new age culture. I have no problem with tradition. I also don't have any problem with the 19th Amendment, giving women true equality. I have no problem in that. In fact, I don't really about it. To be honest with you, I really don't have any problem with feminists. I really don't. In fact, girl power, go right ahead, enjoy. In fact, girl power, girl power, go right ahead. I have no problem. Just do you, and I'll just do me over here, and I'll fade into obscurity with my obsolescence, with me being obsolete. I will fade into obscurity with me being obsolete. This is MGTOW on the Win with enough. Enjoy the curve flattening. It's MGTOW signing off.